Let's see. Let's go with this one. Easy money. This desire to get something for nothing has been very costly to many people who have dealt with me and with other con men. While people learn, as I doubt they will, when people learn, as I doubt they will, they can't get something for nothing. Crime will diminish, and we shall all live in greater harmony. Joseph Weil, also known as the Yellow Kid. Dangling the lure of the free lunch is a con artist's stock in trade. No man was better at this than the most successful con artist of our age, Joseph Weil, aka the Yellow Kid. Yellow Kid learned early. Excuse me. The Yellow Kid learned early that what made his swindles possible was his fellow humans' greed. Over the years, Weil devised many ways to seduce people with the prosperity of easy money. He would hand out free real estate. Who could resist such an offer? I think I already read this one. This is a beware the free lunch. Let's see, hold on. Let's double check, see what today might be. Today's the 26th. Let's do today's. The sincerity ploy. A trick to be aware of comes from Le Rochefoucauld, who wrote, "Sincerity is found in very few men and is often the cleverest of ruses. One is sincere in order to draw out the confidence and secrets of others." Daily Law. By pretending to bare their hearts to you, clever non-players know they can make it more likely that you will reveal your own secrets. They give you a false confession in hopes that you will give them a real one. That's a good one. How about avoid the drama magnet? In anything, it is a mistake to think one can perform an action or behave in a certain way once and no more. They will draw you in with their exciting presence. They have unusual energy and stories to tell. Their features in animated and they their features are animated and they can be very witty. They are fun to be around until the drama turns ugly. As children, they learned that the only way to get love and attention that lasted was to enmesh their parents in their troubles and problems, which had to be large enough to engage their parents emotionally over time. This became a habit, their way of feeling alive and wanted. Most people think from any kind of most people shrink from any kind of confrontation, but they seem to live for it. As you get to know them better, you hear more stories of bickering and battles in their life, but they manage to always position themselves as the victim. You must realize that their greatest need is to get their hooks into you by any means possible. They will embroil you in their dramas to the point that you will feel guilty for disengaging. Daily Law. It is best to recognize them as early as possible before you become enmeshed and dragged down. Examine their past for evidence of a pattern, and run for the hills if you suspect you are dealing with such a type. The law of human nature. Number 4, determine the strength of people's character. The law of compulsive behavior. These are good ones. This is the end of June. I mean, the end of May, going into June. Has a lot to do with spotting deceivers. He seems to be drawing on the laws of human nature a lot. There's a lot of people out there that are just playing the role to see what they can get and to see who they can get it from. It's pretty wild. Pretty wild. The things that people do. Alright. Let's hit the road. See what happens. Still trying to get over this little bug. Let's have a drink before I do this. I don't know what that noise was. It was strange. I don't see anybody about. I don't know who that could have been. Interesting. Let's go. That was weird. I don't know what that was. Sounded like either. You know what it sounded like was like air brakes. Like when you step on the brakes of a car that has, well, normally it's trucks that use air for the brake lines instead of brake fluid. Once you release the brake, there tends to be a blow-off valve that relieves the excess air from the brake lines. It's kind of what it sounded like right now. Either that or like some sort of like maybe, I don't know. That was strange, but that's what I heard. But anyways, yeah, deceivers. I know it seems like this kind of stuff can make somebody like become real paranoid about people. But there's kind of a little edge of paranoia that I think you kind of need nowadays. It's not so innocent a time that we live in anymore. As I was listening to this podcast, and even they started talking about like how like this new generation of people in the world, like the younger generation, they grew up with so much more information than the old, like at least my, like let's say my parents, like the boomers. I think the boomers are the last generation where ignorance really was an excuse, right? There wasn't a whole lot of information at their fingertips, but towards the early part of my generation, like the early 20s, the internet really was like available. And it was anything you needed to know was pretty much at your fingertips. You just needed to want to ask. All you needed to do was want to have to ask the question. So if you're curious minded, all the information was like right there. And now with like social media, the new thing with that is the algorithm. So depending on what you're interested in and where your curiosities might wander, you are literally going to be force-fed more of that because of how algorithms work. My generation, our introduction to the information world wasn't laced with algorithms. Best you got was your search history. But now it's like, say you're the type of person that is drawn towards information like what I just read about being able to deceive people and like pretending to give up a secret in order to get one. Well, there's no shortage of sources on how all the tactics and methods that con men use to get over on people. And if you're the type of person to look into that, well, now it's just going to throw you more of that. Before algorithms, you would have had to have known who to ask about, what to look for. Now it's just readily handed to you once you look something up. It just depends on where your mind's at. But and I think that's one of the titles. What is it? Play a sucker to catch a fool. That's one of the like titles.
all that stuff. It looks super overcast, like it wants to rain. It's really dark in the sky. You can see like patches of it. Like all the lights from the valley are catching the clouds. It kind of lights it up a little bit. You can see it, but then you can see where some of it's like really dark. Particularly right up above me and like a little bit going north. But yeah, I tend to be, I guess, a little bit more guarded these days. I'm not as open as I used to be when it comes to talking to people. Certain people I still openly talk to, but most everybody else I just kind of close that off. If I talk to you, you know who you are. Nobody's watching this anyways. It's fine. They really did a poor job fixing the freeway. It's like so uneven here. Like I know best practice, you're supposed to be driving with both hands on the wheel anyways. But, sometimes you can cruise with just one hand. It's nice and smooth, but the road has become like so uneven, like it doesn't feel safe to just drive with one hand. That's okay. It just forces me to have a better habit. You don't want to become complacent, then all of a sudden something happens. Feel a little bit better, but this bug is still hanging in there. The last of it. That actually, I'm over here thinking about it. That'd actually be pretty cool to get a whole book about con men. I guess really that's what the art of seduction is, kind of. Because that's what con men do, is they use certain like levers of seduction to kind of manipulate you into position for whatever the seduction requires. Or for whatever the purpose of the seduction is. Doesn't necessarily have to be sex, it could be money, anything that they can try to get from you. Sex is like a sliver of what's possible when you seduce someone. But you don't really think about, sex when you hear the word seduction. But it could be information, it could be money. Oh, something got hit on the road. That's so sad. Probably a possum. It looked pretty big. I hope it wasn't a dog. I've seen a dog running on the freeway once. This time in the morning too. I don't know. I love this time of morning. The freeway is practically empty. There's probably nobody in front of me for about 100 yards. Same thing behind. I'm gonna keep coming in at this time until they tell me no. Because we're trying to catch up on a little bit of work because we lost a day because of the holiday. So they asked, whoever wants to come in at 4, come in at 4, and we can start getting some extra production done. Which I think they should let me do all the time because I'm highly productive. Be nice. I was already awake too, like an hour before my alarm went off. That was the crazy part. Like right before I knocked out, the last thing I saw on my phone, because I checked to see how much time I had before I have to wake up, so like 7.5 hours. Like, okay, damn. Well, and then I ended up waking up like, I think when I woke up, I looked at my phone, it said midnight. I was like, oh shit, I'm not even supposed to be awake for another 2 hours. So I tried to go back to sleep, and I think I did for a second. But I know I laid there for a while. Just thinking. I wonder if it's supposed to rain. That it's so cloudy like this. It's pretty crazy. What else is going on? Oh, I don't know what made me think of it, but I started looking up. Well, it started with me and like the Chinese horoscope. I realized, oh, you can do this with AI. Give it all your information. It'll give you a detailed analysis of your Chinese horoscope. And the more information you give it, the more detailed it becomes. So it could just simply start with your birthday. But then if you add the time you were born, it gets even more detailed. And then if you add the location where you were born, it gets even more detailed. But I just stuck with the day and the time. I did it for me and my woman. And I did it for my buddy at work. I asked him, I told him, what's your birthday? Give me your birthday. What? He did. And then I told him, give me the time. I need the time. He's like, why? I'm tinkering around with the Chinese horse, the Chinese zodiac. He starts laughing at me. He's like, oh no. Then just give it to me. So I did. I did his and then sent it to him. And I don't know him like super well. I just know him from work and our exchanges at work. I really like this guy. I think he seems like a genuinely good dude. But from what I read, it does seem like him. But again, I don't know him 100% well. Just know him from our interactions at work. But from the vibe I get from him, it's crazy how these horoscopes or these zodiacs or whatever the heck you want to call it, they seem pretty right on. Mine seemed pretty solid when it came to me. My mom used to be into all this stuff too. My grandma, everybody was on my mom's side. They're into all this weird, not weird, like this woo-woo kind of stuff. My grandma was really like in the fucking like witchcraft kind of dark magic kind of shit. Seems like after she passed away, my mom found all kinds of interesting stuff in the house, casting spells and shit on people. This did not seem right. I'm like, oh fuck, this is the kind of people I came from. This is not good. Knows what the heck is attached to me because of you people. I didn't ask for this. Now I gotta deal with it. But I banish all that evilness. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. It's the congestion and the weird little like scratchy tickle you get in your throat that's the most annoying about whatever this little bug is that I have. It's the hentai virus. I know it's really hanta, but if you look up hentai, I think that's like Asian pornography or something like that. I don't know how I know that. Heard that somewhere. I don't know if it's Japanese or Chinese. I don't know which one it is. One of these. All knees to me. Oh, it's working. It says I'm doing 63. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe it's a little off. My speedometer says 65. That could be off. Never know. Well, you never know. Hurry up, Mr. Fucking Pickup. I need to go around this truck. See if I was right. Is it a pickup? Yup. See how good I am? All I need to see is your headlights. I know exactly what you're driving. This looks like a Lexus. No. Mercedes, probably. Yep. Little Mercedes. I used to do that a lot when I was little. I could tell by the light patterns on the cars which cars they were. I don't know why. I don't know what possessed me to memorize such a thing, but I can tell. backside of the hill. It's about the halfway point, I think. I don't know. See, I've been filming for a little bit more than halfway there. Normally takes about half an hour to get there. And this says I'm about 25 minutes into the video. Normally these videos are somewhere around half an hour long. Have more coffee. Why not? Open. Okay. That's good stuff. Why is everybody putting on brakes? This truck's getting over. I'm getting over. Are you getting over again? You're just fucking around. What are you doing? Turn off your blinker. You're not even up to speed for the lane you're in. You can always tell the truck drivers that don't own their truck. If they're just the driver, they haul ass because they don't have to pay for the fucking fuel. They normally get a fuel card if you're a driver. You know, whoever the owner is, they're paying for it. You're just getting paid by the hour to drive the thing. But the truck drivers that own their trucks, they're the ones that are in the slow lane doing 55. And this guy is a car transport, so he's transporting cars to different places. Probably between dealers who need whatever for their stock. But he's getting into like almost the fast lane just to pass other trucks. An owner-operator does not drive like that. This guy's like, I don't care about wear and tear. Just trying to get where I'm going. It's going to get pretty interesting with how they're kind of edging everybody towards not owning anything anymore. It's going to get pretty wild. I'm hearing a lot of stuff about, I forget what it was, damn it. Really, it's starting with the amount of, I love how they play these fucking word games. Unaffordability. Unaffordability means shit's expensive. That's what it means. They don't want to say that. So they come up with these other words. And the way they are pricing certain things out of range from certain people because of inflation. Especially when it comes to property. And the deceptive part about inflation is that it makes things seem like they're more valuable than they are. So when you when you inflate currency, you're actually taking away its purchasing power. So it seems like, oh, my house is worth more now. No. The dollar amount that it takes to buy it has increased because the value of the dollar has decreased. So it's all an illusion. But they just keep pumping more money into the system. And then when the bubble bursts, it's when you hear about monetary bubbles. That's when the inflation has become so high, there has to be some sort of alleviation of that inflationary pattern. And this is when you get government bailouts. So now the government comes in and they'll have to bail out this corporation or this institution or this industry because the whole thing had been floated on funny money is really what it is. But then once that happens and the government gets involved, they normally have some level of ownership now over what they had to bail out. There's always a negative backswing of that pendulum. But most people on the lower level of the income spectrum they don't feel that anyways, because you guys we're all leasing our cars or renting our apartments, or we're not really feeling that yet. You just feel it in the price of gas, or actually the gas is the perfect example of inflation. It's the same gas. It's not more value. It's no different. From the perspective of the gas seller, they're making a fucking bundle, and it's the same gas. It costs the same amount to process as it always did, and look at how much they're making now over what it used to be. Make that make sense. Gas hasn't changed. The same formula. So if you want to wrap your mind around inflation, think about that and why that might be happening and how that's fair. And really that too, they're looking to kind of like foment a little bit of a revolutionary mindset amongst the people, because they need a bit of an uprising so they can stomp down on they need to know who's who in society, who's going to rebel and who's not, and they need you to raise your hand. I've had enough, we need to protest. Okay, careful with that, because now you're self-identifying as someone to keep an eye on. Make sure you wear your mask. See, that's where a mask comes in very handy. And do not get identified. Of course, here I am on camera identifying myself. But whatever. All right, I have arrived. I'm about to park. I am safe. And boop, boop. And scene. Okay, go do something. Be productive. Everybody enjoy the day. Let's go to work.